Hey y'all, Michelle G here, Bendy, Stitchy. Today's Tuesday. It's the 28th, I believe, of July. And I keep like kind of hinting at my journal in my YouTube videos, but I've never fully like flipped through the whole thing. So I thought periodically as I finish things in the journal, I'll just do like, here's my journal so far and here's my journal now. So here's my journal so far. So first of all, this journal was made for me by my friend on Instagram. Her Instagram handle is amdrake, Drake 63, and I highly recommend you follow her because like 2 weeks ago she just posted 3 or 4 journals and she was like $15, first come first serve, claim them and they're yours, and they sold out like in a hot second. Because $15, are you joking? These on Etsy are like $125. It's a book cover covered with fabric, and there's 5 inserts in the middle. I'm probably gonna have to take 2 of them out. And then she put this cool wax seal on the back of it, and she covered the back with like a leather-ish type thing, and then there's this cheesecloth at the bottom. It's so cool. It's so cool. I love it. So the cover is my Not Forgotten Farm piece that I just finished. It was a sale with some of my friends. It's called Melancholy. Industry is the best cure for melancholy. And I thought that was the perfect cover piece for this journal, not only because the thread really matches the fish, but because this journal is kind of a good representation of my industry, you know? And you can see my ironing is subpar. There's a crease right down the middle of that, but whatever. This is stitched on a 36 count Lakeside linen. And it's done with like mostly Victorian mottos, I think. And then this rickrack it was sent from a friend. And so I just put rickrack around it and then one line of rickrack at the bottom to tie it together. So that's the journal. And then I keep some notes on the inside. But here's page 1. So what I do is when I was first doing the journal, I didn't know if I wanted to glue things right in. So this one, I put fusible interfacing on the back and then glued rickrack around the edges because I wasn't sure what I would do with it. So I thought if I could take it out, that would be good. And then what I did is I used 2-sided tape and I put, this is a partially made thread drops. And then this is a tag. And I always write a little something on it. So I can remember like what I was thinking or doing. And then this bird is just a funky bird. So this chart is called Funky Birds. It was my April 2020 Patreon gift chart. And then I thought that was a cool funky bird that I got from Nat Geo. Nat Geo is a fantastic resource for scrapbooking pictures. Just so much cool stuff. And then this is just a piece of scrapbook paper from Joann's. So then this is April 2020 Patreon chart from Ink Circles. It's called The Love Bug. This was actually my first Ink Circles chart that I've ever stitched. Both of these, incidentally, are on Lakeside linens. This is Vintage Aqua Mist, and I believe this is Vintage Wood Smoke, or just Wood Smoke. I used some scrapbook paper that was sent with the journal. You can see it matches this down here and up here. And again, those are like little tabs that hold the piece in. Fusible fleece on the back. You can see here I experimented by putting some of my unused nail stickers on. It didn't work. So I mostly just covered it up. But that's okay, right? That it didn't work. And then again, Nat Geo, I did a bug and I did a lady with a gas mask smelling flowers because it's weird and why not? So that's my first layout. My second page, these are bookmarks that were sent to Rosie and I from friends ages ago. This is from my friend Karen Bowen, and it's done all in sparkles. And then this, I wish I could remember who did it because I love that R. Isn't that beautiful? And then a rose for Rosie. And then this is actually a piece of a napkin, because why not? This was an ATC that was stitched for me by my friend Heather. And do not worry, be happy. Down here, I took a piece of, this is just a postcard. And I ripped the edges. You'll see that's a theme for me. I just rip the edges. Because when you try to cut it, if it's not perfect, it looks like it's not perfect. But if you rip it and it's not perfect, it looks like you didn't want it to be perfect. And then a donut sticker. And Heather actually put this in a little tiny frame. And so I took the back off of the frame with Heather's writing on it and I put that in there with it. This is my design. It's in the Lakeside Needlecraft Summer Book this year. And my friend Michelle stitched it, Michelle in Australia, and she added a few things. So she stitched this all in these super bougie, beautiful silks. This is done on Weeks Dye Works Dolphin. And as the pieces come off the edges, I just shred them. This I actually glued down. So she stitched it in silks. She added these little glows on the butts of the fireflies, so you should all add those if you stitch that. And then she added herself up there catching fireflies on the roof. And I put the same rickrack that I used on the cover, I put on the top and bottom of this page, because what I really like that I did is this card is Michelle's card. So I journaled up in the top and I put her card in there so that I knew that was from her and what she was saying when she did it. This is just a little piece of dyed thing thrown in because I liked it. This one I super love. So this I put the title page of the pattern on. This is from Old Colonial Designs. It's called the Pin Purse Cushion. That's why I put the information here. I really wanted to stitch this, but I didn't want to make it into a pillow, right? So now that I have the journal, I could stitch this. I glued down the trim, kind of like it looks on there. And then I put the other part of the pin pillow down here, the other picture from the chart. And then I was able to write, like, I had this little kit for ages, but I didn't want to make a pillow. Once I started this journal, I knew I would stitch it. The trim is from the kit, and I loved the 1/1. So this rabbit is 2/2, and everything else on here is 1/1. And then I reordered the alphabet to put my initials. Cute, right? And then this is a pocket, if I ever want to put anything in a pocket. I don't know why. Okay, so next page. This is from Deanna. Darling and Whimsy. This is my Porg Puffin. Started and finished May 7th. So what I did is I printed out some Porgs. I Googled Porg wallpaper and I printed out some printable Porg wallpaper. This is the cover image from Deanna's pattern. This is her logo. And it's a little card that she sent me. So there's a little niceness from her on there. And then I could not love this Porg Puffin more. My girl Deanna designed him, and my girl Carla helped me choose the colors. Sulky 4011, and 4055 on Lakeside Linen. Okay, and then this is, you can see this is Posy Go Round, the Patreon exclusive May 2020 chart from Tracy Horner of Ink Circles. Started 5/23 and ended 5/24. Tracy suggested we choose our own floss. And this floss that I chose from the border, I had been holding for a long time. So I used it for that. And then I pulled color and cottons that matched it to do the inside. So I just think it's super pretty. And I think, like, looking down at this, it looks like one of those scissor frogs. And then this picture is from Nat Geo. G is for gallbladder, of course. Again, I used the cover of the PDF from Heartstring Samplery. I don't know what this fabric is, like 48 count or 28 count, 32 count. It was dyed for me by Andrea Stitches in Colorado, and it's just a scrap that I had left over from my 2017 Tiny Modernist Halloween sale. And it's funny because I stitched this gallbladder twice. This is 2/2, and then I thought, when I started at 2/2, I was like, oh no, it's going to be too big for my journal. Obviously, it's not. But then I stitched it again 1/1. I still haven't done anything with the 1/1. But I used 3 pieces of ribbon down here. And then this is a card. And you can see I just ripped the edges of everything again because that's the way to go. And this one is glued directly down. Okay. This is my ATC that I received. I hosted an ATC swap on my Patreon. And I'm a terrible swap mama because almost everyone has received their swaps, but not everyone has. That's okay. But you can see I used 2 of these thread keep things. These come in handy for so many things. Because April wrote a message on the back. So that way I can just take it out. And this is literally how simple it can be. That's my journal layout. That's it. That's all of it. And then, because April did all the work with the ATC, I can just put it in there and that's a full journal page, right? Crazy. But I love, it says SHIT happens, coffee helps. And then this is my second to last page. This is my Patreon May 2020 chart. I haven't even stitched all of my own Patreon charts, I just realized. But that's fine. It's Lakeside Linens Vintage Magnolia, I think. And I put a card on the back, and then I layered over this other so that I was, and then look, again, one of those, I will ride these things until they go out of style. But then my friend Anna, she sent me, I had a Costa Rican coin on here, and my friend Anna, she sent me a Peruvian coin because these birds are inspired by an antique Peruvian textile. And so to finish this, I cut it into a relative square, and then I pulled out 4 strands of linen from each side. So I got this cool like handkerchief look. That's cool, right? And I left this page blank intentionally because when Anna sent me all of her goodies, she sent me also a chart that she has designed of a Peruvian bull. So that's going to be super cool. And then these are my 2 newest pages. They're not fully done yet because I still need to journal about them. This is my Say Her Name Breonna Taylor chart. So for this one, I took a greeting card and I ripped it in half and I separated it. And then I put silk sari ribbon down the sides of this. And this, I'm not totally sure that this is the final layout, so I didn't glue my stitching in yet. But you can see I just put interfacing on the back. So I can just tuck it in and just leave it there. And I just ran a line of glue at the very edges of this. And the pattern is Say Her Name by Abigail Topknot, Breonna Taylor. It's her memoriam chart. The fabric is Lakeside Linens Vintage Wood Smoke, and then I have to look up when I started and finished it. And again, one of those things, because it says iced. And then this one is my last one that I just did. I filmed a tutorial on how I did these 2 pages, and it's going to be up on my Patreon and on my YouTube for members. So if you want to know how I did that, you guys can, I guess you'd have to join, but it's okay if you wanted to know how I did it. This one is a stitch that was stitched for me by a friend, Sarah, and I guess I remember now the episode that I said it. It was right after the pandemic had started and the kids went home from school. A local company donated boxes and boxes of ice cream sandwiches, and they were giving them away to the kids who came for free school lunches because the schools were still running free lunches even though school was closed. You just had to go and pick it up. And I said an ice cream sandwich feeds the soul. So she stitched it and she sent it to me, and she didn't fully finish it because she had an idea that I would put it in my journal, and she was right. So I put it in my journal, and then this is the note that Sarah sent, and inside it has all of her writing, so I kept that there, and then I'll do a little bit of journaling on the side. But then I have all these pages left, you know? And when I was sent the journal, I was sent it with all this cool stuff inside. But what I will probably have to do is take out a couple of these. Like, I might try to take out 2 sets because you can see they come, like they're sewn in. I might have to message and see if I can take out 1 or 2 without damaging the book. Because otherwise it's going to get really, really, really thick. But look, I wanted to show you this. So she put a key in here. She put this is silk sari ribbon from India. This is some lace from France that she found in a thrift shop. So there's just all kinds of cool things that you can do, right? This is a pocket. The way she glued it in, it made a pocket. Yeah. So there it is. So follow Angela if you want a journal. She puts them up periodically. A.M. Drake 63. And thank you guys for going through my flip through with me. I know that was a quick one, but it'll get, there will be more and more, the more things I put in the journal. And now I really want to go and stitch some smalls. So I will see you guys on Thursday for a stitch with me. And until I see you, keep sprinkling the stitchy kindness. Bye.